I feel like we're having a proper like Britney Spears moment with these mics. Sorry we're running a little bit late. As you can imagine, the life of a WSL footballer is very intense and busy, and you both have been running around doing lots and lots today.
Oh no!
You both fabulous. By the way, she's our lucky charm at City. Never seen us lose. So that's Poppy, our lucky charm.
Poppy! Yes! I know!
So we made sure she's coming to Chelsea.
Yeah.
She's going to be there. And also Villa as well. Villa as well. So our lucky charm will be there.
Oh, looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it. You both look incredible. You've got our nod to Emmeline Pankhurst kit on. And also, Julie, your shoes match it. Looking fabulous. You ran out in that kit at the weekend, 3-1 win over Spurs. What does it mean to have a kit that is so dedicated to such an important person, both here in Manchester and for the women's suffragette movement and women's rights across the UK?
Well, I think it's important to just put light on it and like show everyone that we actually have making a statement and like celebrating a big day as the Women's Day is. So I think it's a big thing, and I really like the colours as well.
Nice,
it's so nice.
Obviously, very much your colours with your shoes. Kerstin, very busy day for you today. Talk us through the life of today yourself as a WSL footballer.
Ooh, the life of today. Well, we get a lovely breakfast at the club. Let's start with that. We go to the club, have lovely breakfast with the girls. Today we had 2 sessions, so a gym session and a pitch session. And after that, we had to do some shooting, some photos, some interviews, and we have the pleasure to be here.
A content shoot for next year's kit, I believe. I know you can't give away too much about it, but what are we saying? Do we like it?
It's really nice.
It's very nice.
You guys will really enjoy it. We really enjoyed it, yeah.
So let's go right back to the start for you both and how you got into football. Julie, let's start with you. Do you remember the first time you kicked a ball?
I would say it was probably kindergarten. My dad used to play football, so he took me and my brother to the pitch, and I just enjoyed it and playing it with friends in the beginning. I think that was the main part for me, just having fun, spending time with my friends. And as I grew older, it obviously became more serious, and I started playing in a team. And after all, I started playing with boys because I had a talent, and I feel like the competition was a bit harder with playing with boys. So I just kept doing that and spent time with still thinking it was really fun to play. And at a certain age, I went to senior football and then played for 2 senior teams in Norway before I came here.
Kerstin's noticed the music.
I hear
coming out
music
from over there. Was it a similar story for you?
My parents, none of my parents were actually footballers. They both went pro in judo. So they wanted me to be a little professional judo player, I think it is. Athlete, running around, doing that. But I did not want to do that. I wanted to kick a football, so they didn't have a choice. I didn't want to do it. So, and just the same as Julie said, in recess, at school with your friends, the boys, back then it was just the boys. They were always playing football together, and as a girl, you had to be good to join. You couldn't just join, you had to actually be good. So I just made sure I was good enough to play with them, and it was actually fun. And from there on, it just went on and on.
But that was a rite of passage thing more from the boys who are your age rather than anyone else, I guess. You didn't have any barriers when you went to school, you were still able to play football, it wasn't blocked off for you?
No, it wasn't blocked off for me, I think mostly because my parents really supported me, and my dad actually loved having a girl that wants to play football, and I have 2 younger brothers, so he had 3 children that love football, and he loved football as well, so there were no barriers for me. And obviously when you're younger, and especially when we were younger, it's so different than how it is now. Now it's girls are really included, and back then I was a little less. So whenever you played a boys team and me as a girl, I would score a goal, the boys would get angry, or the parents would say some things, but my parents always stood behind me, and the boys I played with always stood behind me, so that gave me just so much confidence.
Did that fuel you more, the fact that you might hear something when you'd scored? Did that fuel the passion?
Yeah, definitely. I remember I played in an all-girls team for 1 year, and we were in an all-boys competition. So when when we won and they actually went off the pitch crying, it was so satisfying. I know it's very bad to say. I know I can't say it, but they were so mad, and I was like, oh, that's actually very funny. So that really fueled me. So yeah, in a sense, it actually did.
And obviously, my experience growing up and wanting to play football here in the UK will be so different to you guys. What was the attitudes like as a nation in your respective countries for women playing football?
I think at our age it's beginning to get better, or began to get better. But I remember when I was young that I had most male role models, and I think now that small girls can have women's as well, because they see that it's actually possible. But at the same time, my club was really fighting for women's football as well. Like, they really wanted to have the same opportunities for the boys and the girls, and I think that was really, really important, because like even when we went to national team as well, like the opportunities wasn't the same, and there weren't as many girls that got picked as there were boys, so they were always like harder for the girls. There weren't the same like amount of camps and the same amount of teams that got opportunities. So I think like I was really delighted to be in a club where they actually fought for having the same rights and the same opportunities, and I'm really happy for that.
And talk to us about your journeys into clubs.
It was actually quite easy. Like for me, the Netherlands really wanted to get more girls into football. When I started when I started playing, I was the only one in my class. So when I was like around 12, basically all the girls started playing football. So clubs really pushed for more girls to actually compete and to be in all girls teams, but also in boys teams, because for our development, it's so much better. And the federation, the Dutch federation, also had like these district teams from like the age 10. So from age 10, you're being seen by all these people in the federation, and from there on, you go into like national teams, and so cute. The older you get, the further you get, and at some point it gets national team, and they really pushed for that. So I think for our development, for me, I've been born in the perfect year to get into women's football.
So the pathway was always there for you? You always saw the pathway into becoming a professional footballer?
Yeah, like I said, I started as a 10-year-old in the district, went up to the under-15s where I became a national team. And when I quit, when I was too old for the under-19s, before like my girlfriend, who was a couple of years older, after she left the under-19s, there was no team in between that and the national team. So loads of girls fell into like this gap and not being seen anymore. But for me, there was an under-23s that got into then, and it was so much easier to go on, and the federation really pushed for that.
And was that the same for you, Julie?
Yeah, we have an under-23 now, but it's not been for all the time. So I think like people as well felt that what you mentioned now, that if they're not like good enough to go to the seniors team, then they fall out and they find other things to do, because it's hard to like getting seen, because there's so many people in between 19 and the seniors team. So I think that's really important as well, to like have those teams all the way up to the senior team. Like the boys have under 21 as well. So I think it should be the same for the women's.
Let's take it back to club football now. Manchester City, you've obviously been here a little bit longer. How did you find that move and that jump?
Obviously it's a big step for me, like moving abroad for the first time and living by myself, and new culture, new language. But the girls in the team were so nice to me when I first came, and it was really easy to come into the group. And I think as well, like, I enjoyed the city, and just having people around you taking care and like helping you has been so important, and the club is really helpful in that way. And obviously it's so fun coming over here, playing football in front of a lot of the fans, and like especially after the Euros, you've seen how much attention we got in the women's game, and I think it's still going to grow a lot.
And how good, when then you came over, was Julie showing you around the city?
Julie was amazing. Julie was one of the first people that actually showed me around. I remember on my first day, you actually sat down next to me. I didn't know anyone. I just got there in my normal clothes. People thought I was from the staff. So
I was one of them.
Yeah, we were one of them. But no, Julie's been amazing. We're good friends now as well, so it started there, I think. Yeah.
And how have you found the culture at Manchester City?
I've been loving it, to be fair. It's not as different as it is in the Netherlands. It's just way, way bigger. But my move has been great. I feel very at home. Yeah, things haven't been very different, only except for like the level of play, obviously, and now playing for such a big club. But all the things stayed the same, and I feel very at home.
Did the support structure at the club prepare you for coming into a situation where you are playing with the best in the world?
Sorry?
Did the support system at the club prepare you when you came in to be playing with some of the best in the world?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it has been. I've been trying to prepare myself, but the clubs have been helping me prepare as well. So when I got here, I felt really ready.
Perfect. And Julie, when you came into the club, it just looked like you settled like that. And this season as well, you've had an absolute blinder. Like firing those rockets in is one of my favourite things. I love to see you scoring the goals. What helped you feel settled here?
Well, I think, as I mentioned, just like having a club where people take care of you, where people see you, and a group of people that want to be together as well. Because when you come as a foreigner and you don't have any friends, it's important that you like to spend time with like people on the team. And I think the same for you, Kerstin, that like we can hang out without being at the club all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's been an important part for me, because I think if I'm not enjoying what I'm doing outside, it will affect my football. And the same, like if I don't enjoy the football, it will affect my other life. So I think those things hangs close together, and it's really important that you have a life outside as well, which you can do like other things and spend time with friends and family.
Let's talk more about that life outside then. What are the kind of things that you like to do in your spare time? If, maybe not like you today, you get some spare time, but when you finally get it?
Well, I use a lot of time doing uni work. I do a degree it's basically in Norway, but I do it online. So I think that's good for me, just to have something else to do, and as well like to hang out with teammates and like explore the city and restaurants that's here. It's so much good food and nice places to see. But obviously, like, the university is taking a lot of my time outside of football.
Because you're doing a pretty intense degree.
Yeah, it's been heavy. Taking it part-time though, so that helps a lot. And the teachers let me do like in the tempo I would like to. So this year I'm taking like 2 subjects and having 1 exam in May. So obviously it's more busy around the exam period, but year round is only on me how much I want to do it.
Because you had an exam, was it the day or 2 before Derby Day or day after?
The day after.
Yeah, tell them about that.
Well, yeah, that was a busy week. We had 3 games, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had a midweek game and I had 2 exams the same week. So I think I wasn't too social outside of football.
You were handling it well. You were handling it well.
Well, I was a bit stressed about that, obviously, but it went well. And
I was going to say, have you got the results back?
Yeah, I have, and it went well. And the games went pretty well as well. So it was really nice to have that Christmas break after those games and the exams. But yeah.
We'll get on to what Kerstin does in her spare time in just a second. I'll give you a bit more time to think about that one. You have got slips of paper on your chairs. If you want to ask any questions, get them in now, and we will try and get to them at the end of the session. So Kerstin, your spare time, what do you like to get up to?
Well, I just wait until Juju's finished with her uni work. No, I live quite central here in Manchester, so everything's on the walking distance for me. And as I said, I like to do things with Juju, but also with some of the other girls. What have we been exploring? We've been axe throwing, which was quite wild. Axe throwing.
That terrifies me because I'm so scared it will like bounce back.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, and one thing we really want to do is go into the puppy yoga.
We want to go to the puppy yoga.
That does look super
we
cute.
went and did cricket the other day, which I was not very good at, unfortunately. But we like to do all those kind of activities, especially on days off. You just want to do something. You don't want to sit at home all day, all the time. So we do that, grab a nice coffee, go out for dinner, just hang out with each other, really.
I'm definitely going to say I recommend puppy yoga over axe throwing with the rest of the season in mind, particularly in front of our press officer over there. We want to make sure that we're not having any injuries or anything. Obviously, you've got so much going on outside of football. What would you be if you weren't a footballer?
That's a good question, actually. I'm taking a degree in engineering, so probably...
Which is crazy. A degree in engineering and being such a high-achieving WSL footballer at the same time.
Yeah, so probably I would be more of a student.
Yeah.
And I think like doing what normal students do.
Are we talking nights out, that kind of thing?
Yeah, probably not too much. I could enjoy a night out, but not like too often, not every weekend. But like just hanging out with other students, like going on backpacking and stuff. I think my class now have an exchange year, so a lot of the students are in Australia and abroad and like just living the life. So probably I would do something like that, but like I couldn't see myself not playing football because it's so big part of my life, and this is the time where I have the opportunity to really go like 100% and trying, and to see how far I can go, and then there's a long life after that where I can do other things. So I think I'm just doing exactly the thing I want to do, and it's a really good thing for me as well that I have the opportunity to take a degree at the side, because then I have something to fall back to when I'm done.
There's so much that goes into engineering. What is the specific part that you're studying, or if it's more general, what do you enjoy most about the study of engineering?
Yeah, it's a civil engineering, so it's 5 years master, and you could choose between like 4 different profiles, and I chosen the energy and environment one. So obviously I'm pretty into like renewables, and I think it's important to put light on that we only have one Earth, and that we are actually like affecting how that will be in 100 years. And I think that could be something I want to work with when I'm done with football as well, like how we can save the environment and like be better to that. But so far I've only done like the main subjects have been mathematics and like the core classes, not really deep into like energy and environment. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I think some of the subjects can be hard to do from here because it's like a lot of lab and stuff. So yeah. I would probably have to do those later.
It's going to be hard to follow that.
I'm no engineer. I am not even close.
Your bridges would be slightly wonky, maybe. Julie's would be lovely.
Don't let me build a bridge. Don't do that. No.
So, if you could be anything but a footballer, what would you be?
I would be in the police force. I really, going there into the military. I really like that kind of adrenaline, which I get which I get with football as well.
And the axe throwing, of course.
And the axe throwing. Let's not do axe throwing. No, I would like that. I love working with people. I love working outside, and every day would be so different. And I think that's the exact same with football, and that's why it's so great. I get to do this now, and hopefully start working after I'm 30, because then I've got another 40 years as well. But I would love to do that.
Absolutely. Right, so before we take questions from our wonderful audience, let's reflect quickly back on summer, Women's Euros, just what a celebration of women's football, women's sport on the whole. What kind of impact have you seen now playing domestic football again off the back of that?
Well, obviously the England final was a big thing, like watching from home. Like it wasn't the funniest thing for me since we lost to England, like a really bad game, but like just seeing how much attention it got and how many people was there.
And obviously seeing teammates as well.
Yeah, and obviously seeing teammates doing really well, like Chloe Kelly with that goal in the end. And I think that just attention on the game after that has been incredible, and you have seen like this season that we have had so many games where people have been coming, like 20, 30,000 coming to a game. And like even the Country Cup final was sold out the other day. And it's so nice to see. And I think the women deserve that as well. Like the men's have played before in front of like big crowds for ages, but now we can see that it's actually coming to the women's game as well, and I think that's so cool. And I really hope just the growth is continuing, and that we can see that in the World Cup as well, like the attention is getting even bigger.
So I think I had a Kerstin Casparij fan page account follow me on Instagram the other day. Did you ever think anything like that would ever happen?
No, I did not. No, especially as a young girl starting to play football, it's not something you think about. The things you get to experience in countries like here, but also with clubs, but also with fans, it's not something you think about when that happens. I really enjoy it. I absolutely love it. I got here at the perfect time after the Euros, and the change I've seen here in the UK has been massive. It has been so much bigger than back in 2017 when the Netherlands won it. There was change, but it was not as big as here. And I love that about England. I love that about like the fans, but also about the media. They really want to see the women's football grow, and that's something I've really enjoyed looking at.
And now someone's making TikTok edits of you.
Yeah, she's better than me. Way better than me.
You should hire her, find her and hire her.
It's like, yeah, send me some. I can post them on Instagram.
Collab, question
yes,
mark.
Please.
Julia, have you got a fan page yet?
I do actually.
You do?
I don't know who's having the fan
That was not me
page.
being surprised. You definitely deserve one. You definitely deserve one. That's not me in shock.
Yeah.
What does that feel like, seeing people, obviously you see people with the signs, obviously come out at the end of the game asking for selfies, signed shirts, and then obviously the support on social media as well. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot, and it's incredible how the fans have been to us. And I don't know if it was you or Mary maybe. I said to her when we played Bristol away that it was so impressive how many like travelers we had from city that actually came to the game. Yeah. Like we are complaining about the long bus drive, and we are actually playing the game.
And people actually come and watch. They pay.
And then you have supporters like traveling all the way down to see us. And I think that's just shows good character and like how much it means for them as well. And you should be really know that we also care a lot about like having you there and supporting us. That's really important.
Yeah, and everybody's so lovely as well. So I think everyone, after every game, comes to have a chat not because we have to, because we genuinely want to.
Yeah.
We genuinely like speaking to the fans, interacting with the fans. And again, if they travel all that way, I'm not used to that. I didn't have any people watching at home when I played back in the Netherlands. And now we play away against Bristol all the way in London. And there are so many people coming to watch us. So yeah, they really appreciate it.
So there's lots of familiar faces from the OSC who travelled down in the crowd. And now we're going to have an opportunity for them to ask some questions. Sam, I think, have you got the questions? He's got the magic pieces of paper. Ooh. Big shout out for Sam. Thank you. Right. So how does it feel playing for your national team?
Yeah. Do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
Yeah, I can go. I think playing for the national team is one of the biggest things I ever done. And when you first got picked, the feeling you have when you get that shirt and the letter that says like you're picked for the national team, it's just a great feeling and something like you've been working for your whole life. And I think it's hard to like beat that feeling, and representing your country means something special to me.
Have you still got the letter and your first top?
I do.
Are they framed? Are they in a box?
They're in a box,
Back with your family?
Back with my family, yeah.
No, I totally agree with Julie. It's such a special thing for me to wear the orange shirt, something I've dreamt of ever since I was as a young kid, and to be playing at home, especially with home fans, and to be representing your own country in like Euros or World Cups and Olympics, it's a special feeling of pride that I had never felt before. So it's really, really good.
Next question, I think we answered a little bit of it there with the reference to travelling down to Bristol City, which I think was also, was it twice in 2 weeks? So it was like very, very quick succession, and I know a lot of the fans went down for both. The question is, how have you found the experience of English football fans? Do they behave differently to women's football fans in your home countries?
There are much more fans here as in my home country. Like I said, there are sometimes more people watching our away games than there were people watching my home games at Twente. So that's really special, and I really like that. The English fans actually, yes, Poppy. The English, you can actually hear the English fans. They have songs, they have banners. After when the game's finished, they want the interaction. People want the interaction, and yeah, that's very different. But I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, as Kerstin said, they've been so nice, and I think probably they're making a bit more noise than the Norwegian crowd. Yeah. So I'm probably a bit shy when they start like singing the songs about me and stuff.
Singing your songs.
But yeah, I really appreciate it, and it's so nice. Yeah, as I said, just like having you backing us even on away games, it's incredible.
Yeah, we sing the songs as well sometimes in training.
Yeah,
Like you sing
like
the fan
Super
songs.
Steffi Horton and stuff like that.
So you sing the songs that the fans have made up to each other during training?
Yeah, sometimes.
That's
When
a
someone
brilliant
does
bit of
really
insight.
well, they get a little celebration song.
Yeah. So you lot on the front row, who I know are making up the songs, remember that. Next time you make up one, we'll end up on the training pitch. Where do you see women's football in 10 years' time? Oh, and they're a police officer too. So they are living their best life as a police officer.
Sorry?
So the person who asked this question says they're a police officer.
Oh,
So they've
lovely.
gone for your potential second career.
Nice.
And the question was, where do you see women's football in 10 years' time?
you go then, police
Well,
officer.
No, I think, to be fair, I have an idea, but I think it won't be big enough. I think, like we've seen it grow the last 10 years. The growth will be so much bigger than it will be the last 10 years for the upcoming 10 years. So I think we'll get a 1 million transfer in the upcoming years, and money will just get more money. And yeah, to be fair, I want a dream, but I think my dreams are too small.
So you say you'll get someone will get a £1 million transfer. Who do you think that would be?
Oh no. Well, there are some contestants like Leslie Russo, but also from National Geo Roard they've been wanting to transfer her as well, and we've got so many great players. I cannot pick one. I truly cannot. I wish I could, but I can't pick one.
Julie, football in 10 years' time, women's football. Where will you be, and where do you think the game will be?
Well, 10 years is pretty long time, and I think if you look 10 years back, there's so much going on since that time. So I think, as Kerstin said, that it's hard to imagine how far we can go, but I think at the same time it's important to like push it forward and not getting like satisfied as long as there's still potential to grow. So I'm just excited to see where it goes actually.
I think a good aim would be to play in the men's stadiums and actually
definitely
have season tickets for women's football in men's stadiums, or not even men's, just in the stadium.
So yeah, this is the thing. I try not to call it the men's stadium, just the main stadium.
Yeah.
Because obviously you see so many clubs now playing more often, more than just once a season in the men's stadium. So I'd love to see it. I think we all would. This is a brilliant question. Who on the team would you like to switch lives with? And I'm not going to let you say each other.
Oh.
That would be a cop-out.
Who would I switch lives with? I would switch, to be fair, I would switch lives with one of the Aussie girls because I would love to play in Australia, just because of the climate.
But the jet lag, having to go for national camp and then coming back.
My toxic trait is that I think I will handle the jet lag well.
What was I don't know, can we say, what was the Sam Kerr chant the other day, even with jet lag? So one of the other Aussie girls, are we going to go for a name?
I'll do Massey because she's the youngest one, so closer to my age, yeah?
Yeah.
And me, that's a hard one. I think there's can I like experience their life, or is it like going
Whole
to
life.
be? Yeah, then I would probably pick one of the more experienced ones. Maybe Steph.
Maybe Steph.
Yeah, because she's been through a lot, and like she played so many games, being in City for, is it 8 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think just like seeing how much things she's been through, and like experiencing like being captain for her national team as well. Like, I think she's like a clever woman with a lot of knowledge. So I would say Steph.
She's got a lot of strength.
Yeah.
In every department.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
also just so many fun times. I remember producing her and Jill Scott on the Jill Scott Coffee Club, and just listening to their stories of times they'd spent together in Loughborough was just pure chaos and lots of fun. One last question. At what age did you decide the position you were going to play in? And that's from Maisie, age 7. There's no pressure on Maisie to find that position just yet. You've got plenty of time, Maisie. But at what point did you know that that was the position you were going to stick in?
Well, to be honest, I'm actually not sure. Yeah.
I was going to say, you float around.
So I've played a lot of different positions. I'm definitely sure that I like to play more offensively, even though I played like a left back on my national team till like summer. So it's not a long time since I played in defense either. But I would say, I don't know.
But it must be good to have a club that encourages that sort of ability to switch and move around.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing at the same time as you want one position, because obviously it's a bit different to play different positions. So if you want to like really be the best in one position, then you probably have to play that most of the time. But as you say, if the team needs you other places, is a good thing to could like play different places.
Yeah, no pressure, because I didn't know I was a right back until a year and a half ago. So I got made into one. But like Julie said, it's so important for players to be versatile, and growing up playing in so many different positions has been so great for the both of us. And I now stuck it down to either right or left back. But there is no pressure on that, and the longer you keep developing and working on being versatile, I think the better of a player you'll be. So there is no rush to get your exact position just yet.
No rush, no pressure. That is a lovely note to end on. Thank you both so much for your time. I hope you get some nice relaxing time this evening after what has been a very, very busy day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.